Howdy y'all. Today will be making the Monstera Moon Ring from start to finish, and I'll be showing you how I did that. So I start every piece off by making a bezel for the stone. It's a fine silver strip of wire that goes around the stone and holds it in place at the end. So I solder that bezel onto a back plate, and I didn't show you that, oopsie. And here I am cutting it out. I did not focus the camera, as you can see, oopsie doopsie. And now I'm filing it. And wow, look at me go so fast. Making sure everything's even. And then I sand it out so that I don't have any file marks in the piece. Make it all smooth. And there it is, looking all silky and shiny and ready for the next step. Look at it go. Wow, so nice and shiny. And here I am measuring out the ring shank so that I can mark and score the metal, which you will see momentarily, with some calipers. Wow, that shows me where I need to cut. And here I am cutting the metal. Yep, so fast. I just want to apologize for all the mouth sounds in advance. I will not be editing them out. And then there is the ring shank, and the next thing I will do is to mark the center hot dog and hamburger ways, because I need to know where to place all of my details. And then I made the frame for the ring shank to just add a little detail to the whole piece, make it a little thicker, a little chunkier, just to really add that like statementness to the ring shank. And here I am hammering it all out, and then I am adding my maker's mark because branding. Wow, yep, there it is. And now I am soldering on the details. And by details, I mean the frame. And I use batter's flux and I heat it all up evenly. And I'll be honest, this process took me like 4 or 5 tries because sometimes the metal gets dirty and gross before I get all the solder down. And so I have to clean it and start over. And I didn't show you that because it's really tedious, so I just showed you the first time. It just is like that sometimes, but it's okay. And at this point, I decided to change the design. I found a Monstera that I had already had cut out and thought, wow, that would be way cooler. So I made a template, and here I am piercing that out. I do everything by hand. All of the piercing is done with a little hand saw. I've had that thing for freaking years, and I plan on having it for more years. So it's pretty cool. It's really tedious work, but it is fulfilling in the end. Definitely. Wow. It is a labor of love for sure. I break so many saw blades while I do these little fine detail works, but I'm not showing you that because that's boring to watch. But if you're a jeweler, you understand. And here I am again filing the piece so that everything is just in the shape that I want it to be. Make it all nice, and then I sand it on these sanding blocks that I acquired from my grandpa, who was a woodworker. And then you can just replace the sandpaper as you need. And then I use a snap-on sanding disc to get the file marks out and just to make it all smooth and nice. And there it is. Not done yet, but ready to be soldered onto the ring shank. So then we take the ring shank and we will cut off all that excess metal. So it's just a nice little like oblong football looking shape. Yep, there I am. Not filing, that's coming. Piercing out the extra stuff and just, yep, the words. Yep, and then I filed it, and the filing, no joke, took about 30 minutes because you want it to have a nice soft feel, so when it sits on your finger, it is not sharp. And then I sand out all the file marks again with some 220 grit sandpaper on a slotted mandrel. You can get them on riogrande.com. I'll link that in the bio for all of, maybe not in the bio, down below for everyone on YouTube. And then here I am with a snap-on sanding wheel again, taking out all the big scratches, and then I go in with 3 different grits of radial bristle discs to get out all of the scratches and make it really shiny and nice so that when I add the detail layers on, I don't have to finish the surface underneath them. It's just easier to finish in layers. Trust me, if you try it, you won't regret it. So now I am shaping the ring shank with these pliers because they're really nice for bending thick metal, and then I hammer it flat after annealing it and make the seam all nice and put together like that so I can solder it together really well. And so I coat the piece in a boric acid and denatured alcohol solution, and that helps to prevent fire scale. And then I use batter's flux at the seam. That's what's in the bottle, and that just makes the solder flow where I want it to and not all over the place like handy flux can do sometimes. If you are a jeweler, you know what I'm talking about. And then here I am again soldering on the pre-solder for these detail pieces. I pre-solder them so then I can lay them directly onto the ring shank later, and it will flow nicely and not make a huge mess. So I pick solder all of that, and then I'll throw it in the pickle and it'll clean. And then the next thing that I'm doing is making fine silver balls to add just a little spicy detail to the stone setting. I thought, why not just make this thing outrageously detailed and outrageously statementy? So I did that. And then here I am cleaning up some excess solder on the ring shank before I formed it. If you know that you have to sand things a million times. Here I am forming the ring shank, even though I did not realize that it was out of frame, but you can kind of see like, oh, I'm hitting something. And there it is, nice and round. Filing and sanding and grinding. Once more, got to get that solder removed because, And then here I am just giving it one last final like shine before I add the details on. And then obviously you can see I added the details on without showing you. So here I am adding on the stone setting. Yep, there it is. Wow, gave it a final sand real quick, and it is so silky and shiny and ready to go in the tumbler. Yeah. So here it is in the tumbler. You can see, you can't see inside, but it's a ceramic medium that will make everything nice and smooth. And then here it is out of the tumbler. You can see it's all like nice and shiny and smooth. And I add this silver blackener to it so that it will eventually reveal the details. And I wash it off because it's poisonous. And I shouldn't be doing this with bare hands, but like, oops, I do it anyway. And then here I am once again grinding, but with a higher grit grinding wheel to remove the excess patina that I don't want. So here I am again with a polishing wheel, a very small little polishing wheel, and some Luxie polishing compound. It's a vegan polishing compound that you can remove with hot water and soap instead of acetone like more traditional polishing compounds. It's way better for you and the environment. And yep, I'm just polishing it really carefully to not remove the patina anywhere I don't want it to with this tiny little head. And then I go in again with a larger polishing head and just really like make everything even and really nice and shiny. Wow. Okay, now I'm going to set the stone. My head gets in the way quite a bit, but you can still kind of see I use a pusher to get the bezel to be pushed down over the stone very carefully, not to slip in this little ball vise that is not a GRS. It is a knockoff, but you know what? Sometimes knockoff tools work too. And then I burnish it down so it's nice and smooth. And then once again, I grind the bezel so it is all nice and smooth, being careful not to hit the stone, carefully removing dust. And then I go through 2 or 3 grits of that kind of polishing wheel. Excuse me for the mouth sounds once again, but I'm almost done at this point. This is the final step before I photograph. And here it is on my finger in the natural sunlight. So beautiful, such a statement ring, but it is honestly so badass. And here are the final pictures. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. I hope that you enjoyed this process. Come again soon. Bye.